What's up guys, Pito here. Welcome back to my channel. We're back out at Highland Creek Golf Club. We're on the driving range today. This is new for me. I actually have a driving range to use, something I didn't have at Larkin. So it's super nice to have this driving range out here. Today I'm going to show y'all how I like to warm up. I mentioned yesterday that a lot of things have changed. I had mentioned in the past that I don't like warming up before a round of golf. Part of that reason was because back when I worked at Redbridge, a lot of my rounds, 9-hole or even 18-hole, were coming right out the shop, right? I'd work in the morning and then get off at like 2 or 3 and then go straight to the first tee. I'd do a couple twists to get loose, hit my drive, go on, and I'd shoot a really good score 95% of the time. So I tested it out in a mini tour event. I drove an hour and a half to get to the golf course. I showed up 30 minutes before my tee time. Actually, it was like 20 minutes. 20 minutes before my tee time. I rolled a couple putts, hit a couple chips, took about 10 swings with an 8-iron that had a swing weight on it just to get a little loose. I shot 2 under par, and it was my lowest score in a professional event to this day. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a good thing to do. It worked for me for a little while. It's gotten to the point where it's really not working now. So, now that I have a driving range to use, I'm starting to hit balls before I play. Now, I'm not playing today. I got to work after this. So, today is simply just to show you how I like to warm up. Everybody's different. This is just how I like to warm up. That doesn't mean when you warm up like me and then you go out and play bad, you can blame me. That's not how it works. Just kidding, guys. No, but for real, this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of getting used to warming up before a round. I haven't done it in a really long time. So this is what I'm doing currently. It's bound to change until I find something that really works. So far, it's working pretty well. I'm still learning the course. I'm playing okay for still learning the course. Yesterday, I shot even par 36. I said I was only going to play like 6 or 7 holes, and I ran out of battery on my devices, other than my phone, but my recording devices were running out of battery. I ended up playing 9 holes yesterday and shot even par 36. So I was 1 over when I quit recording, and then I birdied the next hole and parred the last 2. So anyway, yeah, so here we go. So I kind of start off, obviously I stretch a little bit, you know, get a little loose, take a couple swings. So usually the ropes are back there, so I tend to hit to this first flag right here. It's a little bit closer today, so I'm probably gonna be hitting it past that first flag. From back where the ropes usually are, that flag is like 108, and so I just hit like kind of like just a smooth like 3/4 sand wedge to get there. Like I said, today it's a lot closer, so I'm still going to take my normal sand wedge swing that I was doing before with my warm-ups, but like I said, I'm going to probably go over that flag, but that's my aiming point right now. That was a little thin, first swing of the day. So I'm sure you've probably seen on like social media and stuff like that how to properly use the driving range. Now, I don't really think there is a true proper way. There are certain ways that make it easier for the maintenance staff and for the other people that use the driving range. So typically you go out to the driving range and you see like this where they hit in a big circle. So now I can't use that entire spot. You look at the tour pros and they kind of just hit in a line, right? That is technically the proper way to hit on the driving range. Now, granted, not all driving ranges look like PGA Tour driving ranges, so it's a little bit harder. Like right now, I'm gonna do the best I can to go in a straight line. I have a little bit of kind of slopes and kind of bumps and stuff, so I'm gonna do my best, but so put the ball right behind the last divot. That was a much more solid swing. And like I said, this is probably like a like a 75–80% swing for me with a sand wedge. It's just to get loose. And it also helps me when I have like a 105, 107 yard shot into a green. I used to try and just crush like a lob wedge to get there. Now I've gotten to the point, since I started warming up before a round, I've gotten to the point where, hey, that's the shot I was hitting on the driving range. Let me just pull out sand wedge. And let me tell you, that 100-yard shot has just become so much better for me now. I typically just take one bag for a warm-up session. I typically just take one bag, and I got to find a way. I got 3 clubs that I hit, sometimes 4 that I hit for my warm-up session, right? So I go sand wedge, my 54 degree. I go 7-iron, and then driver. And I mean, I'm landing each and every one of these in about the same spot. Onto the 7-iron. So with the 7-iron, same thing. I pick out a target. So typically I go to this second flag. Depending on where the ropes are, I can either get there or kind of land it just short. I think I'm going to go over that flag today. Now I hit my 7-iron on a full swing about 180 to 185. And I also mentioned yesterday that I'm trying to get rid of the draw. I'm not necessarily abandoning it completely, but trying to work on the fade a little bit more. So, but I really like my draw with my irons. So there's a baby fade there. And what I like to do is I like to work on both shots, because like I said, I don't want to completely abandon the draw. The reason I'm even trying to switch it all is because my draw that I wanted so badly turned into like a duck hook, snap hook. So now I have an issue where I overdraw it. I mean, that right there is perfect. That's a perfect 3-4 yard draw. Go back to the draw. I think the wind's blowing that way. So I've hit about, I don't know, pretty close to 10, because I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got about 10 balls left, so I've probably hit about 10 balls with my 7-iron. So now I'm going to go into the driver. So the driver is the club that I really struggled with when it came to hitting the cut. It was the one that originally started the snap hook. Turns out I got a little too comfortable with my stance, and I just slowly started creeping back, and I ended up playing the ball in the middle of my stance. So when I really went after one, I was kind of flipping at it and coming over the top, and that's what was causing the duck hook. So I've changed my ball position, and by doing that, the way I did that was I just took some alignment sticks and I lined it up and just got it on this front heel. I can still hit the draw. And I double cross, and that was kind of my issue. You know, I double crossed that, so I hit that one dead straight, kind of pulled it a little bit. And that was my issue with anytime I tried to cut the ball, I did that. So now I'm just trying to, I don't think I was set up properly for that one, so set up properly for a cut now. So I got an open stance, ball still in the front of on my front heel, But see, what I want is to, like I said, be able to hit both shots when I need to. So I'm gonna set up for a draw here. I've tried to cut it a couple times, so go for the draw here. If you haven't tried Body Armor yet, you really need to try it. This stuff is so good. They have so many different flavors. So I got 3 balls left. So basically what I try and do with my last couple golf balls, 3, 4 golf balls, what I like to try and do is I like to try and hit what I'm gonna hit on the first tee. So 1 and 10 out here at Highland Creek are both driver holes, right? So 1 kind of calls for a draw, 10 kind of calls for a fade. So I got 3 golf balls left. Some golf balls were left over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna steal one of these golf balls. So I got 4 golf balls left now. All right, so I'm gonna hit 2 draws, like if I was playing number 1 or starting on 1. I'm gonna hit 2 fades like if I was starting on 10. All right, so I kind of imagine the hole out there. I pick out a spot that I wanna aim at. So I'm aiming at that back right flag. And I want to start it just right of that flag and draw it back. Pulled that one, but that's going to actually play. Even if I was still playing number 1, that would still work out. That ball was crushed. Now, I wouldn't normally do this. I wouldn't do 2 draws, 2 fades if I knew what hole I was starting on. If I knew what hole I was starting on, these last 3 or 4 golf balls are going to be exactly what I'm trying to do on 1. So if I'm starting on 1, I'm going to hit 3 or 4 draws. If I'm starting on 10, I'm going to hit 3 or 4 fades. So until I get one. And I like the last ball to be exactly what I want to do on 1 or 10, whatever hole I'm starting on. That way I can just go straight to the tee box and have that fresh in my mind. So again, that back right flag. There's a draw. Drew it a little more than I would have liked, but it worked out. So I got 2 balls left. I'm gonna hit 2 cuts just like if I was playing on number 10. All right. So if I'm playing 10, I'm gonna set up for a fade. Oh, I overcut that one, but that was hit really solid. Oh yeah. It's hit really solid, so I cut that a little more than I would have liked. Get a halfway decent range ball here for the last one. So last ball, like I said, I really like this last ball to be exactly what I want to do on the tee. So this is the one that you really got to focus on. You're going to really take your time on this one and just try and hit it like you're starting your round. I kind of popped that one up, so I don't like that one. Luckily, I got a couple more golf balls over here. Now, if I was out of golf balls, I'm out of golf balls, and I'm just got to try and fix it on the first tee box. But luckily, got a couple extra balls, and I'm not even going to the first tee today. So I'm going to try and hit a really good, like 5-6 yard fade here. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's one that I, club twirl, pick up the tee, don't even watch it come down because it's right where I want it to be. Now, that's just my range portion of my warm-up session. Like I said, it's not for everybody. It's not gonna work for everybody. Now, obviously, I do like to chip and putt before a round as well. Putting is probably the most important part of my warm-up session. I'll spend the most of my time putting. So if, say, I get to the course an hour before my tee time, I'm going to spend about 30 minutes putting. Half of my practice session is just putting. I'm going to spend about 10 minutes chipping, and I like to spend about 15 minutes on the range. So that leaves me with like 5 minutes. So roughly, yeah, about 5 minutes of time. And that kind of gives me like a little cool down time, enough time to get back to the tee box. So like here specifically, number 10, if I was starting on 10, number 10 is on the other side of the golf course basically. So I'd have to give myself a little bit more than 5 minutes if I was walking. If I have a cart, then, you know, it's a little bit better. Number 1 actually runs parallel to the driving range. So I could pretty much go right from the driving range to the tee box and be able to kind of relax a little bit on the tee box. So got to know the course that you're playing. You got to know where the tee box is and how far from the driving range it is. Like I said, I really like that last swing on the driving range to be what I want to do on the first tee that I play. Say like River Landing, where my US Open qualifier was, number 10 is a par 3. So if I'm starting on 10, I'm going to hit an iron, whatever iron I'm going to hit on that hole, right? So course knowledge helps when you're warming up. And you know, number 1 is a short par 4. I hit driver. So if I was starting on 1 like I did, then I'd hit driver. So I don't know when my next tournament's going to be. I know for sure that I'm playing July 27th, I believe it is, at Country Club of Spartanburg, which is where I shot 2 under par last year, my lowest professional round of golf. So really looking forward to going back out there and trying to get a good round in. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is how I warm up. This is just the driving range portion of it. I didn't do any of the short game stuff. That stuff is just pretty simple. I hit a few long putts, hit a few short putts, hit a couple one-handed putts, and then I like to chip some. So there's really not much to do there. Do some uphill, do some downhill, get a feel for the green, get a feel for the speed, and just what putting stroke I have that day, right? So not much to see there. So this is just my driving range portion. I will show you my practice session. My practice session when I'm not playing turns, just like a practice, like just working on stuff. It's a little different than what I do on the driving range before a round of golf. I have a lot more golf balls and I hit a lot more golf clubs. I pretty much go through the whole bag when I do a practice session. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Like I said, I'm going to try and get a lot more filming done and hopefully get y'all to see the whole course at some point out here at Highland Creek. It's a beautiful golf course. I really like the layout. There's a couple holes that could probably be bombed and I probably wouldn't feel too bad about it, but that's okay. Overall, it's a really fun golf course. I really like the course. I really like the layout. It has not treated me very well so far, playing-wise. Working-wise, phenomenal. One of the best courses that I've worked at so far. And playing-wise, not my favorite so far. Like I said, I like the layout. I'm still learning the course. Yesterday I played pretty well. If I had played 18, I probably could have put together a good score. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and we will be back very soon.